The road. The road. Talking about the road. After a while, all these arenas start to look the same. After a while, all these airports start to look the same. All these bar stools start to look the same. Yeah, all these Waffle Houses start to look the same when you're on the road. That's a lot of cliches, man. But you know, when you've been on the road, all the cliches sound the same. This whole story stems from an incident that happened to me one afternoon when we were taking the hotel shuttle back and forth to the M3 festival in Maryland. It was us and some new kid wannabe tour manager from the opening band sitting in the front seat. He saw us grizzled old rock guys, the so-called icons of classic rock, sitting in the back. So he started in talking about the road. Yeah, all these arenas start to look the same when you've been on the road like we have. We? Dude, your band does 2 shows a year. He was young. He was greener than a shamrock shake. He just wanted to fit in. But you know, if you really want to be a road dog, you better be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Living out of a suitcase, that's real. Different hotel rooms every night, that's a reality too. You spend your time looking out the window of the van, driving to and fro, and you wonder, have I been here before? And when was the last time? 6 months? 2 years? 20 years? Who knows? Who can remember all the gigs, all the years and years of gigs, all those moments lost in time, like tears in rain? I've spent half my life on the road. No bullshit, man. I've spent 30 plus years of my life playing music. And I'm not alone, of course. There's many more like me. There's all those hallowed dudes who came before me from the 70s, from the 60s. Musical icons, troubadours, musical travelers, traveling from town to town like death of a salesman. That's right, ma'am. Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it, because that's life on the road. Things have changed somewhat from my early touring days. I don't really travel on tour buses anymore, but in the old days, that was my preferred mode of travel. For months at a time. I'd play the clubs for a few months, then I'd jump on an opening band slot, opening up for a bigger band, come home for a week, then jump on another opening slot, then off to Europe, always touring, never ending. It was a magic carpet ride. You were gone so long that you literally couldn't remember what your house looked like. The bus would let you off on the street in front of your apartment or your condo, and you would just kind of stare at it because it didn't feel right. You know, the bus was your home. The bunk was your bedroom. Your girlfriend would greet you at the door like a stranger. She'd give you that look, you know, that I know you've been cheating look. You were young. You weren't married. And there was that whole hammer of the gods agenda. You had to meet your rock quota nightly. In the old days, I would spend hours walking. I would just walk. I got to see America every day on tour. I would walk on the railroad tracks. I would walk on those old railroad bridges, like that movie Stand By Me. I'd go to parks and I would swing on the swings like a fucking child. I must have looked like an idiot, I guess, swinging on the swings, a grown man. But I felt free, unbound, like Fonzie. No one would believe me if I told them, you see that big building over there? I'm playing there tonight, opening up for AC/DC. Sure you are, dude. Sure you are. Playing the clubs, then the theaters, then the arenas. King for a day, then boom! 1992 came, and grunge made Sunset Strip bands instantly uncool. But you kept playing. You wouldn't stop. You're not going to give up. You're not going to be a plumber. You're a musician, so you stay a musician. You just keep your head down. You hunker down, And then Green Day came, and then ska came, and all this nonsense, but you still kept your head down. You still kept playing because you knew that rock would come back. And it did. It's 1997, and your original band, Love Hate, they blow up. Kaboom! No more Love Hate. People retired. People moved on. So you moved on. You joined LA Guns, and you kept going. The rock never stops. Then you joined Rat. And that was 6 more years of buses, 6 more years of touring. You don't stop. You don't stop. You don't stop. 2007, 2008, 2009. I wrote screenplays. I wrote books. Making something out of nothing. Making money appear out of thin air. Can you do it? Can you do it? Here's a dirty little secret. It's almost impossible to maintain a relationship when you're in this business. Being on the road destroys marriages. Most don't really survive it. See, every girl dreams of getting their Tommy Lee, but she doesn't comprehend or understand what that means. Until it's too late, of course. Hey, honey, I'm going to be gone for a week. Hey, honey, I'm going to be gone for a month, 2 months, 3 months. The more successful the musician is, the more time he has to spend away from home. And all that stuff that goes along with it, being gone all the time. You see, the wife, she has the hardest job. She doesn't get to share in your glory. Oh, she might get a few perks, a couple of fly-out shows, a cruise here and there. But for the most part, she has to stay home. She has to keep the home fires burning. She has to live vicariously through you while people post all those gig pictures and gig videos on Facebook. It's tough, man. She has to be tough. She has to trust you. Words of wisdom for all you aspiring rock wives. Be careful what you wish for. I've heard stories of vindictive rock wives who deliberately try and sabotage their husband's career. This shit happens too. The husband gets the call on the road somewhere. Oh, the wife is deathly ill. So he has to rush home and tend to her, forsaking the band, forsaking his livelihood. Then it happens again. Then it keeps happening. Pretty soon, he's got to choose between his marriage and his career. So he quits the band. Afterwards, the wife cackling to her friends how she got her boy fired. The joy of it, the fucking glee. She's triumphant. Yeah, that shit happens, man. All aspiring musicians have to face this reality. To be successful, to have any chance at music, means you have to sacrifice any kind of normal home life. The more successful you are, the less of a life you will have at home. It's a fact. And you know, the paradox of all of it is that when you are home, you're sitting there bitching that you're not working, because you can't have it both ways. Unless you're Guns N' Roses or the Stones or Elton John. Mostly it's staying connected by phone or by FaceTime. It's figuring out when you can call your wife because there's a 3-hour time difference. You know, calls after the show. The wife asking, you know, how'd the gig go? Oh, the gig was okay. The gig was great. But you know what? I got to go to bed. I got to grab a shower. I got a few hours sleep before I got to jump on the next plane to the next show. It's not a movie, this life. It's not like that stupid rock star movie or like that stupid Pretty Woman movie. That's not really prostitution. This is real life. It's not fantasy. People don't buy records anymore. So bands' only real source of income is touring. That's it. Just like it was in the 70s, only now there's a couple of creature comforts like the internet and Starbucks. The band is still the bond. The plugging in and the playing before the show, it's all the same. The excitement of hearing that crowd of people yelling behind that stage curtain as you're ready to go on, that's still the same. The hushed moment as the lights go down, that feeling hasn't changed for me since my days of doing the backyard barbecues. Then the music starts and you launch yourself into the void. And here we are in 2023, soon to be 2024. And there's many more gigs to come. Nothing changes, but everything changes. Airports are the same, but every day is different. It could be a breeze, it could be a fucking nightmare, according to the will of the rock gods. So has it been, and so shall it be. It's your old pal Jizzo, rockin' and rollin'. We'll see you next time.